Week 6 NFL recap here for BTO Media. As always, I'm Kevin Bunk, joined by Michael Marlowe. Favorite day of the week. It's 7:30 on a Sunday. We're sorry for the technical difficulties. If you were in the first live, had to just switch it up to this one. All good. We're here now. And Mike, it was a pretty good day of NFL football. I'm excited for a lot of the stuff we have to talk about. We're going to skip on the Cleveland-Pittsburgh game. We're going to skip on the Raiders game. But we'll jump right into a snoozer in London this morning. Broncos escape with a win. Your opening thoughts?
Yeah, that set football back a couple of years. Could you imagine you live in London and you're sitting there saying, okay, we're going to go to the Jets-Broncos game, right? And that's the game you get to watch. That was just brutal. I woke up in the start of the second quarter. I'm like, oh, 10-6 must be good. And then I turned the game on and I find out the Jets don't have a first down and they scored 6 points. So I was a little confused with what was going on there.
Yeah, they finally got that coveted turnover this year. They got a nice special teams play. They could not move the ball at all. And I said this last week. I have to say it again. Justin Fields is awful. And he still has this following, this cult-like group of people from Chicago, now with the Jets, that just go everywhere with this guy as if it's LeBron going from Cleveland to Miami, back to Cleveland to LA, and people just follow him because they love him so much. But the difference is Fields is horrible, and people keep trying to justify his performances. It's so mind-boggling. He is a disaster.
It's so bad. I feel so bad for Garrett Wilson, who is just like, we know how talented Garrett Wilson is, and he's got to sit here and deal with this. The amount of misses, holds onto the ball way too long, tries to escape, tries to make the big play and can't. The offensive line didn't do a great job today, but again, he does hold on to the ball for too long, so it's tough to differentiate at times. You're watching there, and you're like, the offensive line's not playing well, but at the same time, it's 5-6 seconds. He's still standing there and he gets rocked. He's awful. This is as bad as it could be for the Jets right now, because me and you didn't expect them to win many games, but we thought they'd be competitive. We thought they'd show some fight. We thought they'd have a win or two by now. And none of that is true. And Aaron Glenn's first year, I was the biggest Aaron Glenn fan, man. Both of us were. It can't look worse. I don't like how he was with the media today. We could get to that if you'd like.
I want to just, before we get to that, and that was bad. There's a lot of Glenn stuff to talk about today if you want to. But what is the end of the half operation? You fake the punt and just let the clock run out. They played not to lose. And I kind of understand just his rationale in the postgame saying he didn't want to give them the ball back because last week it happened against Dallas. But these are two totally different games. You have to play to win. You have to try. And at least I would have taken a shot at the end zone with 6 or 7 seconds left. Just Hail Mary, see what you have. It would feel better. But gosh, to let the clock run out and then to see Garrett Wilson, who never has blowups like that, to see him on the sideline do that, alarming stuff.
No, it's a loser mentality. When you're 0-5 coming into the game, you've looked like crap, and you're feeling heat, not only from the fan base, from the rest of the league, from the city. I mean, that's just, how do you do that? I mean, how do you just basically give up on, a section of that game? So, like, yeah, you're not a good team. You're trying not to lose, but it's a loser mentality from Glenn there, which I don't like at all.
And then he used the timeout early in the second half for no reason. They were thinking about
never going for that 4th and 1.
They were thinking about drawing them off, and instead of just losing the 5 yards and punting, he takes the timeout, and you could have used it at the end of the game. It really could have used it.
You could have, and again, in that spot in the game, Denver's not doing anything on offense. You obviously can't move the ball. You were never going for that 4th down. You were handing them 3 points, which would have been the game, which ended up being the game. So in that spot, you were never going for 4th and 1. He should have just punted it, not even thought about it. And instead, you're right, he burns the timeout, which could have been used later.
And I don't know if you caught this. The Jets offense today was so bad that Sean Payton, who I think is a terrific coach, and so does everybody else if you watch football, Sean Payton literally conceded a drive in the third quarter to play the field position game. 3rd and 11 in their own territory against the worst third down defense in the league. They handed off to a running back who has 2 touches this year. And they get 2 or 3 yards. He literally thought that little of the Jet offense that he conceded a possession.
I thought Bo Nix was hurt. I said to my buddies, I'm like, is Nix hurt? Is that why they're handing the ball off here on 3rd and 11? And obviously that wasn't the case. I just thought he couldn't throw. So listen, got to give Denver credit, a little bit of credit at least. Their defense is unbelievable. I mean, their defense is
great.
3 best in the league. And obviously against one of the worst offenses in the league that came to play here. But man, it was ugly. It was super, super ugly this morning.
It really was. Bad game. We move over from that game to another rough one. Rams 17-3 over the Ravens. This was just nothing really happening in this game. If Lamar Jackson's in this, they probably win because the Ravens defense actually showed up to play today. Puka missed a little bit of time in this game, but overall, I mean, Ravens 1-5 now. Cooper Rush is just not good at all. This is a disaster.
It's a disaster season. You know what's funny? Zach Taylor gets bailed out from these, injury plagued seasons with Burrow and other guys, and he's still going to be there. They're probably not going to fire him this year unless Burrow came back and they were bad still, but he's probably going to keep his job. I'd be interested to see though. He has lost Burrow for a full season and they've looked poor. He comes back and they're good on offense, even though last year was a massive failure. When does he lose his job? And the other thing, this is the point now, Harbaugh has his first lost season with Lamar hurt. I feel like there's more heat on Harbaugh right now than there has been on Taylor in these years where Taylor lost his quarterback.
Yeah, I wanted to pose the question to you. How hot is John Harbaugh's seat right now? Because we could all agree he's a very good NFL head coach. He's had great success. He's won a Super Bowl, and he's in the postseason every single year. He's had some issues the last few years with clock management. He's had some issues with holding leads in big games and being able to win big playoff games. But you're right. Ravens fans want this guy out so badly already at 1-5. There's a lot of stuff out of his control here.
But the things that are in his control, and I understand they've lost players on defense, but so did the Lions last year, and they were the 1 seed, and yeah, they got smoked in the playoffs, but like their defense came to play. Again, I understand you can't control injuries, but their defense has been bad all season long. That's his side of the ball there. So, or at least he controls most of that. So I know he was a special teams coordinator when he got hired.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I wouldn't fire him, but I don't question the people that want to get the discussion going. You know what I mean?
Last week when we did this, they were favorites to win the AFC North, but today the Ravens lose again. They're 1-5. The Steelers win, move to 4-1. I don't think we're going to question whether or not they have a shot at the division, but do they get into the postseason this year?
The Ravens. Absolutely not. I mean, their margin for error is so small. They're going to have to, they might have 1 or 2 games to play with.
Yeah.
No, you'd have to.
It's it. You can't lose 2 more games.
You're at 1-5. The 10-7. That's 2 losses the rest of the way.
10-7 will get you in. 9-8 probably won't.
And with that defense, you think they're only losing 2 more games? Even when Lamar comes, they were 1-3 with Lamar at a bad defense.
Bye week next week. So see if they can reset. 1-5 is really bad.
They'll get Lamar back. They're getting Lamar back after the bye, right?
Yeah, and I'd be really spooked about Henry because I know Box is stacked. Cooper Rush is playing quarterback. Henry has looked like he's regressed seriously this year.
He has looked at, and even in the games that Lamar played though too, right? It wasn't just these games. I thought he looked okay today. He doesn't have that same power that he did last season, but he hasn't, I guess, the speed you could say. Thought he looked okay today though, but he got stuffed today on the inside the 5, and I think last year he probably gets in. This year, not the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the Rams were not impressive at all today. I mean, not even close to being impressive. Obviously, you lose Puka, that's massive, but they really couldn't do much against the bad defense, and they can't score on the other side. Turnovers, yes, mistakes on both sides, but they can't do anything offensively, and we put up 17 points.
Stafford had a rare bad game today, too. Missed a lot of throws in the first half. Devontae had a bad drop in the first half, but it feels like one of those games, too. You went on the road against a desperate team. You're glad to just walk out with a win and a 2-touchdown win at that, but you're just glad to get out of there with a win, move to 4-2, and get to next week.
Yep, 100%.
Feels like it for them. Cowboys, Panthers might have been the best game of the day. 30-27, Panthers win. Carolina's 3-3. Which side do you want to start on here?
Wrote that down. Best game of the day. Easily the best game of the day today. I want to start with the Panthers. We came out hot against Bryce Young, and I'm not going to walk that back yet. I still think they probably move on, but he played a little bit better today. Rico Dowdle was unbelievable, and when you have that strong running game for him, like most young quarterbacks, it's easy to rely on. And the receivers are starting to get going a little bit. McMillan, 2 touchdowns, and Leggett, he looks okay. So, except that stupid ass, what was he thinking on that play?
Oh my God.
What was he thinking on that? He's an athletic guy, big athletic guy, but they looked a little better today. Like, it did look like something could possibly work there, but they show these flashes, and then you get games like the one in New England.
Can I just early in the week throw this one out there? Next week at MetLife is a huge trap game for Carolina. Huge trap game against the Jets, I think.
Let me find out what the spread is.
Because they are now the team that's 3-3. Everyone's going to be looking at that and saying, okay, 4-3, they're pushing for a wild card. This is where things turn for Carolina, and the Jets are desperate. I'm going to say this and don't think there's any Jet fan intent behind it. The Jets at 0-6 now become, and you'll get what I'm saying, they become a dangerous team because at some point they're probably going to win one. And you do not want to be the team on the other side of this when they do, and when it just clicks for one game, because it is hard to go 0-17. And now teams are looking at 0-6 saying, this should be an easy one. You get a couple guys to slack off during the week because they think they have the easy Jets on the other side. And the Jets are easy, don't get me wrong. This could be a trap game for Carolina next week.
Jets are -1.5 at home next week. So they see this at about even. They see this as about even. You're getting a point and a half for home. You're not a great home field advantage at MetLife Stadium. They see these teams as even, Kevin, on a neutral site. So maybe the Panthers are half a point better, at the most, a point.
Yeah.
But that could be interesting. That's an interesting game. And for the Panthers, I mean, you texted me before jokingly. They win that game, you're 4-3 now, and you're like, okay, what does the wild card standings look like?
Yep. That's a big trap game for them. I got to see how I feel Thursday, but I might pick the Jets to win that game.
Wow.
Feels like a massive trap game, but the Jets coming back from London, they're a disaster, so who knows. Dallas here. Dak is awesome. The Cowboys offense can move it even without CeeDee Lamb, even without a bunch of linemen. They just have not put a good team around Dak Prescott since his rookie year. It's gotten worse every season, and I think Dak is so overhated and underrated. He's a great quarterback. All he does is put up points. His offenses are always top 7 in the league. They show it without CeeDee Lamb, and they just can't score enough points to win because the defense is so bad.
Dak has been unbelievable this season. It's so you texted me. What did you say? Most fun to watch? One of your favorite?
I love watching him.
He really is. And with no CD, like you said, you got George Pickens, who's been great. He's also very entertaining to watch, holding the ball the way he does, slapping receivers, trying to stiff arm them. I mean, I'm hysterically laughing sitting there before watching this guy try and run the ball and get away from defenders. It's hysterical. But Dak has been great, and it's criminal that this guy doesn't have a defense, man. It is absolutely criminal. And by the way, today, what's even more impressive, you're on the road against what you would call a desperate team, and they had no running game. Javonte Williams had a stinker today. So you knew how they were going to try and move this football. They had to throw it, and Dak was still great.
And last point for me on Dallas, Jake Ferguson is having an awesome year. Yeah. He is in the end zone every game. Real fantasy football steal this year if you got him. Late round tight end. But he's been a great red zone threat for them. Schottenheimer's done a nice job scheming him open. Dak always finds him. And without Lamb, the doors open up for him. So Jake Ferguson looks really good, earning the contract he got last offseason from them. We jump from Dallas to a hectic Arizona-Indianapolis game. We can only spend a minute or two on this, but Jacoby Brissett plays, and it's just a messy game, but the Colts escaped with a win. Saw a flash of your old boy Danny Dimes for a moment on the interception, but he makes some nice plays down the stretch. Jonathan Taylor, another big game. They win 31-27, and the Colts move to 5-1.
Yeah, that's the first thing I wrote down was that Daniel Jones looked like Giants Daniel Jones for a little bit there. He loves Warren. Warren's been unbelievable. What a draft pick for them, falls to them, and he's been great. But, like right there, if you're a Colts fan and you win the game, but Marv gets hurt in the first half. that you know they don't have any running backs. Their receivers aren't great. Their offensive line's not great. And Kyler Murray doesn't play, and that's a close game late. So I'd be very concerned with that one if I was a Colts fan because, again, Jones was not great today, and the defense wasn't good at all. So, like, yeah, they get the win, and you're happy about moving to 5-1, and you also had a Jags loss. But I don't know how you feel great or confident right now in this team after a performance like that.
Is Jacoby Brissett better than Kyler Murray? No, but you have to think about it for a second, right?
No, that's the classic backup. We're not ready for the backup. We actually thought Kyler would play today, and we game planned for Kyler.
Yeah, that's a good
probably, but he's
point.
a solid backup. He's a very solid backup. One of the better ones in the league.
Yeah, absolutely is. So Indianapolis 5-1, great win for them. Best win of the day, I think, goes on the road. Seattle moves to 4-2, 20-12. Their defense might be the best in football.
How about my 3-point pick hitting? I'll be gloating about that
About
tomorrow.
time.
Especially if this is my first one, especially if the Chiefs cover the 2.5 tonight. But yeah, they're great. And I got a lot to say about them in the overreaction, so I'll kind of hold off here. But Darnold looks really good. The connection with him and JSN is one of the best in the league right now. And you mentioned that defense. They're unbelievable. So I have a lot to say about Seattle, and I'll save it for the overreactions. But how could you not be pumped about Sammy D right now? He looks so good.
Darnold to JSN is a generational quarterback wide receiver duo. This is unbelievable. I'm so obsessed with Sam Darnold this year because he is the Seahawks franchise quarterback. You've seen it through the first 6 weeks. They move off Geno Smith. They bring in Sam Darnold. They change up the whole receiver room. And JSN is one of the top 7 guys in the league right now. Darnold is one of the top 7 or 8 quarterbacks in the league right now. If I'm a Seahawks fan, I'm watching these highlights on replay all week long, every week, because they're connecting every single week. Total blast watching these two guys play.
There might not be a bigger upgrade in the league than going from Geno Smith to Sam Darnold. I don't think you can get better than that right now with how bad Geno Smith looks. I understand different situations and Geno wasn't this bad, but man, just comparing the two right now, and Geno makes more than him. Geno is making more money than him a year right now. Is that not sickening?
And not only did you get Darnold in free agency for a cheaper price, you got a draft pick for Geno. Great work.
Insane.
Also with Seattle, I'm ready to put Mike Macdonald in the elite coaches tier in the National Football League. I'm a huge fan of him. I think they overachieved last year, and this season, their defense looks so good. Ravens fans right now, because I have looked through Ravens Twitter the last few weeks, Ravens fans are really disappointed that this guy's not their head coach. And some fans even have receipts from the time he left for Seattle from that season 3 years ago where they said, we should just be hiring McDonald and firing Harbaugh.
Well,
he was that impactful in Baltimore, and he's been great in Seattle.
They loved him in Baltimore. They were very sad to see him go. I don't know if I would have had the balls to do that at all or even would have thought
I agree
about
with
it,
you. I agree.
Especially at that time, but fans are crazy. Fans short for fanatics. So.
And Harbaugh, who is 1-5, is still in my elite coaches category.
Yes.
So, I'm not ready to bail on John Harbaugh yet.
If the Steelers haven't bailed on Tomlin, there's no chance. And the mediocreness, obviously Tomlin hasn't had one of these bad years where he lost a quarterback. They'll lose a quarterback and they're still competing. But being the same mediocre team year after year, if they haven't bailed on him, you can't bail on Harbaugh after one bad year when he loses a star quarterback.
No, you can't. Let's bounce to your Chargers. You can take an exhale here.
Yeah.
If you're a Chargers fan, good gosh, they almost lose this game. They win on the late field goal. And Miami takes the lead on Darren Waller touchdown, who looks like he is back to Las Vegas Darren Waller. I don't know what is going on here. It's in the end zone every week. But for the Chargers who are banged up, you had to leave with a win. You do. Put it in the past. Doesn't matter how you got it.
Down early, then you take the lead. You get a 10-point lead. You feel like you're good. You feel like you're safe until you're not. Devon Achane is underrated, I think.
Yeah.
He is that entire offense. I mean, the entire offense, especially with Hill out. He is unreal. So good. And for the Chargers, this was sketchy. This was, you had to win this game. You had to win this football game, and they're able to come away with it. But the injuries are definitely catching up, and you can see it. And they just they charge her. Like, that's what they do. The Chargers find a way to charge her up, and they blow leads and they look bad. But to be able to come away with the win here is massive.
Tua turned the ball over 3 times, 3 interceptions. He's awful. I don't know what happened to him. I know the offensive line has regressed since McDaniel's first year. I know that the weapons have regressed since McDaniel's first year, but not too much. I know the injuries. I get it. Tua is really bad, though, and he was not really bad 2 years ago. Did you see his post-game comments?
Tua, I did not.
So this felt like the breaking point for Miami because Tua basically outed a lot of his teammates by saying, there's guys showing up late to meetings. We have guys who don't show up to meetings at all during the week, and we just don't really have a winning group. And that's pretty frustrating. And so for Tua, who, again, 3 interceptions today, he has not been a part of winning in Miami. He's fed up. He's definitely the leader of that team. And it just feels like this whole locker room is done.
It's done. It's going to be it for Mike McDaniel as well. Although, again, the offense actually doesn't look like it's the issue, but it may just be a locker room culture thing with him. But yeah, it's probably the end. They're playing these tight games. They should have won in Carolina. You could have said they should have won here if they make a tackle on Lad McConkey there. So they're tough games that they're losing close. The New England game was close. They scored a lot of points. So it's just, if you lose that locker room, like it's not as bad as it was early, right? Like when you watch that Colt game and they get blown out by Daniel Jones, like that loss looks a little bit better, especially with the way they've played and the way Daniel Jones has looked. But when you lose that locker room and there's no more belief, that's where he's going to lose this team and ultimately lose his job.
I will say I like your point about the play calling versus head coaching. I think this offseason, you look at the head coaching carousel that might go down, assuming a guy like Harbaugh doesn't get fired, assuming Stefanski stays. Like, if these coaches who are proven stick around, I think the most attractive head coaching candidate is the one that walks into their interview and says, Mike McDaniel is my offensive coordinator.
Right.
He is, and I think it'll probably be Jeff Hafley, the defensive coordinator in Green Bay. But that person who can get him to be their play caller is going to be incredibly attractive because he's probably not getting another job, and you are getting one of the 10 or 12 best offensive minds in the NFL.
Yeah, he would have to go somewhere and really succeed again. I think he could get another job. It would just have to be a couple of years removed from this mess. I mean, you look at, and maybe it's just Miami, right? I mean, Flores loses his job. He's going to be a big-time candidate this year, most likely, probably get a job. So it might just be Miami.
Hey, maybe those two guys pair up. Maybe Flores and Mike McDaniel go take on the another franchise.
The Jets.
Big Blue.
We know. Not anymore. Not anymore. How about those Giants, man? Come on.
Let's move on here to the Saints and Patriots. Drake Maye, another big one.
Yeah, I got to save. Drake Maye is part of the overreaction, and you're going to freak out. It's going to have to be the last one. But I got to say this. Rattler doesn't look that bad. He's playing with nothing, and Kellen Moore is actually doing a pretty good job with him. I thought like this is going to be awful this year. He actually isn't awful.
There's so many different ways to look at 1-5 teams. The Saints, there's optimism. And Rattler's probably not your quarterback. I wonder if they're 1-11 or 2-10, and we still have Rattler playing the way he's playing, which is top 25 in the league, top 28. Competent, deserves to start quarterback. I wonder if they just go with Tyler Shuck at some point, who I think a lot of people forget even exists.
I actually forgot he existed.
And so Shuck is there. He was a top 40 pick. Do you go to him at some point and see what you have before the draft because you're going to be picking top 5? But there's the 1-5 Saints and the 1-5 Titans, who are just like two totally different vibes right now. The feel is completely different.
Rattler, like I think a lot of credit has to go to Kellen Moore. They don't have great weapons. Olave's washed up. Kamara's okay. He's still pretty good. Yeah,
I mean, I looked up at my TV today and Brandon Cooks pulled in a catch. I mean, come on, man. I text my friend who's a Patriots fan. We're watching the game kind of together texting. And I was like, is Brandon Cooks on my TV right now in the Big 2-5?
It's nuts. but
and he's doing the first down. I'm like, did you just give him a first down to Brandon Cooks?
It works. I mean, it works with Rattler right now, and you probably can't bench him with the way he's playing. But like you mentioned, when you get to a point where you're completely out of it and you do want to see what you have in a guy like Shook, yeah, you gotta see. You gotta go to him.
While Rattler looks good, nobody's sitting here saying that's their franchise quarterback either.
No, he's not doing that yet.
No,
who knows? Maybe we get there.
Hey, maybe we get there. And Kellen Moore, I think, has done a pretty solid job so far. Buccaneers, Niners. A lot of injuries in this game. Both teams are really banged up.
Yep.
Baker is the greatest quarterback to ever play NFL football.
Wow.
What a dog this guy is. Did you see that first down run on 3rd and 13?
It was unbelievable. It was actually unbelievable.
Is there a guy in the league that you would want to play for more, or that you would want to coach or root for more than Baker Mayfield?
No, there's not. He just, everything about him makes you want to run through a freaking wall. Everything about him. He's talented. That's the first thing. Like, he can throw the football as good as anybody in the league. He's got a great arm. He's accurate. And he's tough as anybody. He's standing up to offensive linemen and defensive linemen, sitting there screaming in their face after they hit him. He's the best.
He's the best. I love him.
And they're good. Like you talk about the injuries. They have a ton of injuries, and they're really freaking good.
I mean, today they're out there with no Bucky Irving, no Mike Evans, no Emeka Egbuka, no Chris Godwin. They're missing offensive linemen. They're missing defenders. And it was really offensively Baker versus the world today against a Robert Saleh defense who loses Fred Warner. He's done. That's a huge loss for San Fran.
Yep.
But Baker just finds a way to win. Got to credit Todd Bowles in these games, too. He's turned into a really good NFL head coach.
It's crazy.
And everything's great. Time management's great. He's on offensive coordinator 4 in 4 years, and the last 3, including Guzzard right now, have all been phenomenal. Unbelievable turnaround.
How about this? I saw this on the spot. You have Bruce Arians, who's there forever, wins the Super Bowl, and basically says, I'm handing the job to Todd Bowles, right? And Bowles, who was he was a good coordinator, failed as a head coach big time with the Jets, and now he's the head coach there, and he's succeeding with, yes, very good structure in place. Is Andy Reid going to do the same thing for Matt Nagy, where this guy was a big-time failed head coach in a big city, and it was loud, it didn't go well? Is he going to do the same thing for Nagy? Nagy's going to take over, and then bang? Or is it going to be Spagnuolo, who also failed as a head coach? You can basically make the comparison both ways.
It might be Nagy because, Spags might sit there and just say, I'm getting he's the highest paid coordinator ever. He's getting like $5.5 million a year. And he might just say, I like doing this. I like being the defensive coordinator. I only have a few years left coaching anyways. He's in his upper 60s.
Right.
So I could see that totally happening with Nagy. And it goes to the point of almost all of these guys can coach. You need great players.
Yep.
And when you don't have great players, it's tough to coach because Todd Bowles had 1 year with the Jets where the roster was actually good. It was poorly built because it only lasted a year. But 2015, he goes 10-6.
The coaching also matters more than any other sport, though, because there are teams where the talent level is not great, but you can tell they're overachieving. But yeah, I agree. They've had loaded rosters. Licht has done a great job over there. Light, however you say it, has done a great job over there, just assembling talent and drafting well and signing the right players. So credit to everybody. They're doing a good job.
I've said it on here 100 times this year too. Nobody's running a front office better than Jason Light in the NFL right now. And there's certain coaches who, I would say that Sean McVay was one where the coach comes in and changes everything about the organization. And the coach is the guy that's the real catalyst for the thing turning around. In Tampa, it was the front office getting it right with Bruce Arians and then with Tom Brady and the front office from top down there, ownership to front office to now you can just plug in quarterback and offensive coordinator and head coach and it's working because you have such a great thing going. Tampa's a great example of it that way. And Kansas City probably is too. So that's a good call there. Andy Reid was one of those guys though also who just went in and changed the entire franchise.
Right.
Do we have any more games left here? Yes, Packers, Bengals at Lambeau. Packers escape. Flacco with a little bit of a late surge. Not too much here, but I don't love Green Bay when I'm watching them. I don't think they're the team we thought they were after the week 1 overreactions. But hey, they're 3-1-1, and Cincinnati now has lost 4 straight. Zach Taylor, the seat is ice cold.
It doesn't feel great. The Packer takes, especially the ones I had early, they don't feel great right now. Flacco wasn't bad. No, a lot of garbage time today, but in that second half, he really wasn't that bad, and it was a game for a second there if the defense could have gotten off the field. But the Packers don't look great coming off a bye here. You're 14.5-point favorites at home. Everybody expected a big shellacking, and you didn't get that today. You absolutely didn't get it. So I think people in Green Bay are probably a little upset with their performance. But Jacobs is great. He's one of the best running backs in the league. He had a nice day, and you got to get some receivers healthy and see what you can do.
Tucker Kraft is an elite tight end.
He's good. He's a good player.
He is an elite tight end. 2 for 43 today and a touchdown, but he's one of the 3 best blocking tight ends in the NFL. If I had to, off the top of my head, I'd probably say he's the 5th or 6th best tight end in the entire league. Very underrated talent and all-around player, but good job by Green Bay. You get the home win against Cincinnati. I think Flacco will lead them to a couple wins here, though.
He will. He's going to get the ball to these receivers. He just is.
All right. You have overreaction time here before we do a couple Sunday Night Football picks. Mike, you want to start us off, as always, with the overreactions?
Overreaction, I'll go least to biggest.
Okay, I will too.
JSN tops. If he's not top 5, he's top 6. Right? You go through it. Jamar, CD, Jefferson, Puka, and then you want to put him over Amon-Ra, you can. I don't think I will yet, but you could if you wanted to. But right then, he's 6. He's the 6th best receiver in the league. Today is just another perfect example of that. Now he has a quarterback that you could really develop a connection with. He's the number 1 wide receiver on his team. Last year, he had a lot of DK. So it's so much fun to watch him play. And I think easily, who else would there be? He's the 6th best receiver in the league.
Yeah, I agree with you, because when I was watching that game today, I was thinking about the Puka conversation we had.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's not that many guys after the people we named that I'm taking over JSN. There's probably none. I think I'd take those 5. I think I'd take Jamar, Jettas, Puka, Amon-Ra, and CD, and then I'm taking JSN.
Also, how about this conversation for a second?
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell me if I'm missing somebody. I'm at a bar last night. I'm having a conversation with my friend. We're talking about the Giants, when they're going to have to pay Neighbors and what the contract's going to look like. And we were trying to predict who is going to be the next highest paid receiver each year. It's probably going to be one every year, right?
Yeah.
So we had said the next guy is Puka, right? He'll be the highest paid. Then it'll be JSN. Then it'll be Neighbors. Then it'll be Ibuka. And then it'll be Jeremiah Smith. Am I off? Am I completely off? Who am I missing there?
Jeremiah Smith. Wow. Yeah, you're probably right. Probably
Who
right.
Am I missing
We'll see Neighbors with the health.
Right. It probably got pushed back a year. With
go through that one more time.
So Puka's first, JSN second. He'll break Puka. Then Neighbors will break JSN. Then Ibuka will break Neighbors. And then Jeremiah Smith will break Ibuka.
I think it's possible Ibuka doesn't break the bank, doesn't reset the position.
Okay.
I think McMillan has a chance. McMillan looked great today for Carolina.
Yeah.
And if they're bad and he's their marquee guy, he can leverage that. But you're probably right. That's so far down the line for those guys.
Amon-Ra got paid already, correct?
Yeah, Amon-Ra got paid. Garrett Wilson got paid. Right. Chase Jefferson got paid. Yeah, you're probably right.
Not going to reset the market with those.
No. And it won't be a guy like Waddle. It won't be a guy like one of those players. So probably correct. It's Puka's definitely next up.
Yep.
All right, my first overreaction. I'm trying to think of which one I want to go to here. I'm going to go with the Jets. I'm going to go Aaron Glenn's one and done, because I haven't wanted to go there yet, and I have a couple different factors for this. Saturday, I watched a lot of college football, and I think that there's enough quarterbacks. Sure, is there not a Trevor Lawrence? Is there not a Caleb Williams? Fine, I get that. But there's enough quarterbacks for the Jets to be in a position to have to pick between 2 or 3, and I don't think that you can trust that whether it's the first pick, the second pick, the third pick, that these are the right guys to make the call. And the stuff with Garrett Wilson today, his post-game comments included, and Aaron Glenn with the media, it just does not feel like he is right for this job. And I hate to say that because how many times do we have to remind everybody how much we love this hire?
It sucks. Sorry, a little static here.
Yeah.
But it does suck with Glenn. I completely agree with you. And it's tough. It's going to be tough to keep. But what about Muji? Muji's safe, right?
No, I'd fire him too. I think he had just a miserable offseason. He's included. If I ever call Glenn one and done, if I ever say anything about him, I think that Muji's included.
Muji one and done. That would be something.
I think they totally clean it out. And listen, if John Harbaugh was to get fired and you were to get the first pick, you just bite the bullet and you make him the highest paid coach ever. And you say, we got to get back to the playoffs, man. Come in, bring whatever GM you want, and take whatever quarterback you guys want.
That's insane. I'm going to switch mics, so you go.
Yeah, a total hurricane here. I'll do my second overreaction. My second overreaction's very dramatic, too, with the bad teams. I try to avoid the bad teams for the overreactions. I think the Browns go 1-16. I watched this game today, and Dylan Gabriel was so bad, and the Browns offense looked so awful that I do not see this team finding a way to win another game. Their offense looks like maybe the worst in the league. For Cleveland, for Kevin Stefanski, it's going to be a really tough time to try and grab another win this season.
I think I'm back, but I didn't hear a word you said.
Back with us. I said, for a variety of reasons that you can probably assume, I think Cleveland completely loses out. Did you hear that? Second technical difficulty episode of the Sunday recap this year. Week 1, Marlowe's mic goes completely dead. Now he leaves to rejoin. Week 2, had some issues with the static. Now we're here in week 6, and we still can't get it together in week 6 with the microphones.
Are you talking about the microphone right now? I don't know what
together.
The issue is. I don't know what the issue is with these microphones. I really don't.
We still just can't figure out.
I don't know what it is. I can't figure it out.
For the third time, my overreaction is that Cleveland loses out.
Cleveland loses out.
Because I watched way too much of that game today, and the defense is good. Gabriel is a disaster.
Yeah,
I mean, abysmal. And I'm assuming, as much as the media wants to tell you otherwise, Sanders is no better. So I don't see how this offense does enough to win a game the rest of the season. They put up 9 points today, and Pittsburgh didn't even do much on defense. There were wide open guys all over the field for Cleveland, and they couldn't complete a pass.
That's the issue. Shador, you're 100% right, because Stefanski's not going to sit here and say he's coaching for his job. So if he, let's say, really didn't want Mr. Shador Sanders over there, if he thought Shador gave him a better chance to win, he would start him. Just because Shador is arrogant. I had this argument the other day. Somebody said to me, they probably don't start him because he's arrogant. Listen, rapists, murderers, domestic abusers play in the NFL. If you have talent, you're going to play. So this isn't a thing about him being arrogant. If he was good enough, Stefanski's job is on the line. He's going to play. So he just really might not be good.
Yeah, I don't understand I think the narratives around Sanders, and there's a couple of them, but I think all of the narratives around him from the contingent of people that say he should have been a first-round pick, he should have played, are so illogical. I mean, if a guy was worthy of being the second or third pick of the draft, he never goes in the 5th round in the NFL.
100%.
Never, ever. No. And if he was the best guy in that room on a 1-5 Browns team where the coach is probably getting fired at the end of the year, he is not QB2. He's playing because Dylan Gabriel is not good either. And now I'm at the point where I'm really rooting for Sanders to get into a game this year, at least one, because I just need to see if I'm insane and oblivious or if this guy just stinks like I think he does, which I don't wish that on him.
Right. But you want to be proven right or wrong. Like you want
exactly.
an answer. Yeah,
I want
get
an
that.
answer.
I get that. And he will play. And by the way, if Stefanski's fired, and it might be the right decision for the Browns to just get a fresh start here, if he is fired, he's going to get a job next year.
Yeah, I agree. And that's another guy. Like, Jets, Titans, you're firing your coaches with young quarterbacks or with the first pick. Like Stefanski's the first call I make.
Titans, that's the first call. That's probably the best spot too. That's the guy I call. But he's probably going to lose his job. And for him, you know what? I always kind of felt bad for him. Like he's in a tough spot. They went and paid Deshaun Watson. He's kind of stuck there, kind of had to, but it was really bad. Like maybe it's just better for him to get out, go start somewhere fresh like Tennessee. That would be a good spot. My second overreaction, Seahawks related again. They're the best team in the NFC West. They're better than the Rams. They are better than I kind of went halfway with this last week. They're better than the Rams. I think they are. The defense is better. And with the way JSN has been playing with Sam Darnold, the running game's better over there as well. And I think the offensive line's a little bit better too. I will say right now, the Seahawks are the second best team in the NFC, the best team in the NFC West, and the third best team in the NFC total. Only the Lions and the Bucks are better than them. So they are that good.
I completely agree with you. The Rams and Seahawks play for the first time on November 16th in LA. They also play on December 18th. That's week 16. It's a primetime game. Circle the calendar for those. I need to watch those because I think these two teams are great. San Fran's way too banged up right now. Arizona's the most confusing team in the NFL. I don't know what to think of them, but it's definitely one of the two teams for the NFC West. Is this the best division in the league?
It probably is the best division in the league. Arizona being the bottom feeder. You know, they're not a last place. They're not great.
Because you have the North, too. The NFC North, very competitive also. I don't think the AFC has a best division. The best division in the AFC this year, I mean, maybe the East, but probably the South.
Yep.
Because the East, you have probably the West is definitely better than the East, but probably the South still.
Yep. George Springer leadoff home run for the Jays.
Let's go, Jays.
Yeah,
let's go, Jays.
Wow.
I love the philosophy. I'm trying to see if they break baseball.
No, I don't think it's breaking. They have the fifth.
We're going to talk about it tomorrow morning. We're going to talk about it tomorrow morning.
Highest payroll in the league.
We're going to do it tomorrow morning. My last overreaction will probably tie right into your last overreaction based on the crumbs you've been dropping about it. I think at the end of the year, you'll look at the MVP finalists. And I'm not saying he's going to win it. But Drake Maye will be atop the AFC quarterbacks in the AFC or in the MVP race. So you might have Baker and Goff or somebody ahead of him. But I think Dak, whatever. But I think in the AFC, Maye is going to have that season.
Yeah, here's my overreaction. Drake Maye is playing like a top 5 quarterback in the NFL today, right now. And within the next 3 years, he wins a Super Bowl and is a finalist for MVP.
Like, all right, just going all the way with that one. Are you serious? The way you just went, that's the worst overreaction ever on this show.
How is that bad?
That's terrible.
How is that an overreaction or is it an underreaction?
It's an overreaction. Huge overreaction.
That's exactly what we're supposed to do.
He's won 6 games in his career, and now he's a Super Bowl champion.
In 3 years.
I also, you know what? I have just this is my gripe, and it probably has a subconscious Jets-Patriots thing in it. It probably does. But listen to this.
It really is.
I see so many Patriots fans talking about how nice it is that their struggle is over and that they finally found their guy. Get lost, because you would not last 5 minutes in my world. In my life, you wouldn't make it 5 minutes because I have never even seen a quarterback as good as Bailey Zappi quarterback my team. You got Tom Brady, you take 4 years off, and now you have Drake Maye. What a terrible existence for Patriots fans who will probably see 10 Super Bowls in their lifetime before I see a playoff win. Or even an appearance.
So it definitely has a Patriots tie. But
you still went too far with that one, though.
How did I go too far?
He beats the Saints, and now he's Super Bowl MVP?
Yes, that's first of all.
Come on.
The name of this segment is Overreaction. So it's an overreaction.
Yeah, but it's not No Good Takes with Giuseppe Oliveri. It's Sunday Recap where we pride ourselves on trying to get some of these right in 5 weeks.
Statistically, he is Your reaction to that was unbelievable.
We're wrapping up the show here. It's over. Sunday Night Football pick.
He's playing like a top 5 quarterback.
He looks great. He looks great. He looks awesome. What do you want me to say? He looks like he's one of the best quarterbacks on the planet.
Top 5 quarterback in the league. If he's playing like top 5 quarterback,
throw. He makes every throw.
And who's he throwing the ball to? Stephon Diggs?
Kayshon Boutte looks awesome. I mean, every time I looked up today, Kayshon Boutte's doing a touchdown dance.
Exactly.
Give me a break, man.
Nobody.
Give me a break. I haven't seen my team score a touchdown in 10 years.
I'm sweating.
Sunday Night Football pick?
Chiefs by 1,000,000 tonight. If the game started already and the Lions are up. Chiefs by a lot.
This is a huge game for both teams.
Yep.
I think the Chiefs win. I can't see them at 2-4. I think Detroit's better, but I loved your take this week about Detroit's been able to beat up on soft teams, and that's not their fault. They're beating them handedly. They're not making you wonder if they're on the same level as them. They don't play down to them, but I'd be shocked if they go into Arrowhead and get a win tonight. I really would be.
Apart, by the way, in the TikTok comments.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's the life we deal with. You know what I
and-
actually did today? I never do this. I went back 7 weeks to a video I made the first week of August. This is 10 weeks now. And I said the Colts will compete in 2025. Every comment abuses me. Abuses me. Like, you can
go back and answer him?
So I went back and I responded today, and all I wrote was 5-1 on every reply. 5-1. My Colts. 5-1. Suck it.
Unbelievable.
Suck it.
Unbelievable. Good for you. Good for you.
I needed to do it today. I was exhausted, had a long week, needed to do it today. Had to get it off my chest.
Ugliest 31-27 win of all time, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Ugliest. 5-1. 5-1. First place, 1 seed in the AFC. Thank you through 6 weeks. Daniel Jones is the MVP. Thank you.
Just wait until Drake Maye comes through.
All right. That's it. That's a wrap. We'll be back tomorrow at some point we'll do a little baseball, talk through that. Maybe if something insane happens tonight, we'll touch on the Sunday Night Football game. Also, you'll have Beat the Odds gambling in the morning. Enjoy Sunday Night Football. We'll be back here 7:30, same time next week. Appreciate you always listening and watching along with us at BTO Media. Follow the Instagram, follow everything, follow Playbook. And we'll have more content throughout the week. Appreciate you. Enjoy Sunday night.